Duelist Club for life.
Hello everyone, my name is Blake representing the Duelist Club, and I'm here to show you my Lunalight deck. Now, I do want to clarify that I do not run hand traps in this deck at all. I do not. One, I just don't have the money to afford it right now, and it doesn't necessarily. You don't necessarily need hand traps to make this deck fun anyway. So, with no further ado, let's just go ahead and get right to it. Alright, so the first card you usually want to add is Armageddon Knight. 3 Armageddon Knight. This is a good card for getting your Lunalights into your graveyard. Mostly Blue Cat. I have gotten Kaleidoscope Chick in here to summon out, but that's pretty much all you need it for. It's a great card in general. The next card we want to run is 3 Kaleidoscope Chick. So Kaleidoscope Chick is basically a Armageddon Knight. You can send one Lunalight monster from your deck to the graveyard. Also, it has a nice banishing effect where if this card is banished to the graveyard, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects, which is good because then you can just like attack them with everything. It's pretty much just a utopia. The lightning. The next 3 cards we are going to add, you want to run, are 3 Lunalight Blue Cat. Blue Cat is mostly just reliant on getting into the graveyard or keeping in your hand if you can special summon it from there. Whenever this card is special summoned, you can target one Lunalight monster on on the field and double its attack. It's really good just for getting your Lunalights even higher attack. It's just to make it a bigger beef stick than what it already is. The next card you want to add are, I usually run 3 purple butterfly. I used to run 2. I'm not too sure if I should run or go back to 2. I kind of like 3 how it is. This is basically your hand trap of the deck, where you send this card from your hand or field, and you target one Lunalight monster on the field, and it gains 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. Also, this card, whenever this card is banished, or you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one monster in your hand and special summon it. I don't know if you should run 3. Whenever I was running 2, I ran a Tensu. Tensu is just a 2 additional summons. Plus you gain 100 attack for each beast warrior you control. I don't necessarily know if you should go to 3. I like running 3, but if you just do not think 3 is the way you should go, then run a Tensu, or maybe something else. I'm not too sure, but it's usually the best way to just run Tensu. The next 3 is going to be Lunalight Tiger. Tiger is to get your Lunalights from your graveyard to the field, and then using for link material. The effect reads that whenever this card, you can target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but its effects are negated. The second effect isn't as great. If this card specifically is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but the effects aren't negated that time. I don't know if it's that good if you should really use that effect. It's really up to you or how the play goes. But the secondary effect, the pendulum effect, is pretty good. The next card is 3 Black Sheep. Black Sheep is your searcher of the deck. You can either add one Lunalight monster from your graveyard to your hand, or add one polymerization from your deck to your hand. Usually, if you add polymerization, either you are setting up a really good play, and you have or you're setting up a really good play and you're using it either for discarding, or you're actually going to be using it for summoning. But if you're using the secondary effect, it's usually because you got some cards out of the banish pile and you're putting them back in your hand for later use. The next card is 2 Wolf. You can run 3 if you want. I always found 2 being the best option because Perfume searches this card out. Also, you can also put you can put if you put Foolish Burial Goods in your deck, that makes it even easier to get this card out. It just makes it pretty easy to get into your hand. If you want to run 3, go ahead. I've heard it's a bit bricky whenever doing that, but I don't know. It's really up to the player. The next card you want to add is Lunalight. Lunalight White Rabbit. White Rabbit is whenever you normal summon this card, you can special summon 1 Lunalight monster from your graveyard. Also, depending on the number of Lunalight monsters you control, you can target that many set cards that your opponent controls and add them back into their hand, which is I love that effect. That's a very good effect. It doesn't happen too often, but it's a very good effect to have. The next 3, now we're going to move on to the spell cards. We're going to run 3 Perfume. Perfume is the searching card. You can either, the first effect reads that you can target 1 Lunalight monster in your graveyard and special summon it, or, and whenever this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card and discard 1 card, and then target 1 Lunalight monster in your deck and search for it. You can grab 1 Lunalight monster from deck to hand, and it's very good. The next card you should to add is Polymerization. Polymerization is, like I said, either you're discarding card or you're lining up for a good play. So it's really up to you whether or not what the hand looks like or what the situation is. But this is a very needed card in it, especially if you don't have Wolf. I mean, it's pretty needed. And there is no other fusion monster card in here, which is sad. But I think they should make one just to add it. The next card I add is 3 Tinky. Tinky is your searcher as well. It allows you to grab 1 level 4 or lower Beast Warrior monster, and also all Beast Warrior monsters gain 100 attack, which is very nice. You can get Kalito Chick out, or if you don't have a Tiger, then you can get that out. The next card is Foolish Burial Goods. This is the card that you can use to get your Perfume back into the graveyard and then use the banishing effect. It's very, very handy, especially when you do not have a Wolf in your hand. If you do have a Wolf, then grab something else. I mean, come on now. Grab a Tiger or grab a Kalito. Those two are like the best ones. The next card is the Burial from a Different Dimension. From what I've been seeing, or from what other people have been playing, a lot of people do not play this card. I don't understand why. I understand there could be some, there are a couple decks that stop people from putting cards in the banish pile, but for maining it, it's fine. But if you really need to side something out, then you could definitely use these cards as side deck material. But I really don't see too much point in not running this, because you can recycle monsters over and over again, and it's pretty good. Like, each turn you can recycle monsters, and it's nice to have. The next card is Called by the Grave. it's a nice quick spell to have whenever your opponent is activating card effects from the graveyard, or if you just want to get rid of the powerful beater that they have in the graveyard, just in case they do something to it. The next card is Monster Reborn, to get your, if you have a Kaledo in there, a Kaledo in your graveyard, or maybe a cat, like a cat in your graveyard, then you can always special summon it and then make a link material out of it, and then you could use Wolf to immediately make a fusion monster by banishing those materials. And then I run 2 Solemn Strike, just for my opponent to not, special summon. You can, like I said, this deck does not really run any hand traps like Ash or Ghost. So if you want to have a version that runs Ash or Ghost, you can. I can try updating this deck, or I don't know if this deck really needs an update or not. But if I ever do get time or get the money, or if Ash or Ghost, if I ever pull them or anything, then I would add them indefinitely, and probably get rid of Solemn, maybe, I don't know. For right now, I think it's fine to the deck, and it's really good. So we're going to go into the extra deck. Also, this is a 40 card deck. There is no other, it is a 40 card deck, so it's kind of fast paced. It's very fun to play. It's not very good to play in tournaments. It's much better to just play at like a local shop than anything. So for the first cards we're gonna run in the extra deck are Lunalight, Panther Dancer. Panther Dancer is actually one of the best cards to add in this deck. In the extra deck, it can't be destroyed by card effects. You can target monsters on your opponent's field, and the first time they are destroyed, they aren't. This card can also can attack all monsters twice each. And when this card destroys a monster, it gains 200 attack, which is very good. And like I said, this is OTK. This is an OTK type of deck, so you really want to just kill your opponent first or second turn. This is definitely the best turn to go on this deck is second, usually. So you can instantly just kill your opponent. The next card is Leo Dancer. Leo Dancer cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. This card can make two attacks. It can't attack all monsters. It can just make up to 2 attacks. Also, whenever this card destroys a monster, it destroys all special summoned monsters. That's kind of crazy. It's awesome. I love that effect. It's just your big boss monster that no one can get around, or it's hard for people to get around. The next card is 2 Cat Dancer. Cat Dancer he can't be destroyed by battle. Also, you have to tribute a Lunalight monster in order to activate the effect for your opponent's monsters not to be destroyed the first turn. You have to tribute it instead of just activating the effect like Panther Dancer. That's why you'd only run 2. But the good effect of it is whenever this card does attack an opponent's monster, it does an additional 100 attack. So it just burns for 100 as well. And also this card does attack all monsters twice each. It's just not as good as a Panther Dancer. So now we're going to go into the XYZs. I run a Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. This is just your searcher to get Tinky out, or maybe it's also a negate effect. I don't necessarily activate the other effect of having 3 Tinkies on the field, because that's never happened to me before. I have had to use this card a couple times, and this card has actually saved my life a bunch. Also, this card has saved my life a bunch. Cass. This one's a great card for eating your opponent's monsters, just to get rid of them. because if your opponent has a high level monster and you can't get around it, or if they just, like, you don't have any monsters and you're stuck on one point, I mean, cast is like the best way to get everything, to win. Like, I've won with cast and it's awesome. So now we're going to go on to our link. You can run one, I run one Wii Apprentice, one firefighting doll. Firefighting doll is a very good, it's basically, it gains, each beast warrior, beast, or winged beast monster gain 100 attack that point to this card. Also, if this card is destroyed, you can target one beast warrior monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. This also has a effect of whenever you can target one spell or trap on each player's side of the field and destroy both of them. And then Witch Apprentice, when this card is destroyed, add one dark monster from your deck to your hand, or graveyard to hand. I'm sorry. The next card I run is Nightmare Phoenix. This card is just to get rid of any, like, continuous spells, like anti-spell, which really hurts this deck. So I always run a Phoenix just in case, and then I run a Decode Talker. For the big monster I don't have right now with me, I'm letting someone borrow it, but a Topologic Bomber Dragon, or you can run a Borreload. It doesn't really matter. But the card really does damage. It hurts a lot, especially with Topologic. So that was the whole deck. I hope this was a interesting to you. And like I said, this isn't like the best. This isn't a deck that you want to go up against in tournaments. Like, you don't want to bring this to a world and expect yourself to win. You know, get first place. It's just a very fun deck, and I've almost gotten close to getting second place in this deck. It's amazing. It's fun to play, and a lot of people usually don't expect it anymore. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.